Hello from beautiful Edinburgh. My name is Jenny. Welcome to The Bear and the Fox. I'm back today with another roundup of our favourite picture books, and today's theme is bedtime stories. So let's get started. We have a lot of bedtime storybooks, so it wasn't easy to make a selection. Many of them feature cute animals, everything from owls to teddy bears that either don't want to go to sleep or can't go to sleep. But for today's selection, I decided to choose books that are a little bit different, either because of their storyline or because of their illustration style, and I really hope that you're going to enjoy them. First up is a beautifully illustrated book. It's called You're Safe With Me, and it's by Chitra Sundar and Poonam Mistry. Now, this book was kindly sent to us by the author herself for review, and we absolutely love it. It's set in the Indian forest at night time during a storm, and it features a host of baby animals who are scared of the storm. But then Mama Elephant comes along and she takes them under her wing, or should I say under her trunk, and she assures them that you're safe with me. Now, just take a look at these illustrations. They're absolutely exquisite. The attention to detail is just stunning. So first, the baby animals are afraid of the howling wind, but Mama Elephant reassures them that the wind is an old friend bringing seeds from faraway lands. And then they're afraid of the clattering thunder, and she reassures them that thunder brings the rain, which makes the seeds grow. And then when they're afraid of lightning, this is one of my favorite spreads in the book. It's absolutely beautiful. So Mama Elephant reassures them that lightning is just sparkles in the sky where the clouds collide. It's really beautifully poetic. And whatever the baby animals are afraid of, Mama Elephant has some words of reassurance for them, always ending with, "You're safe with me." And eventually, all the little ones fall asleep. Here they all are. Here's Mama Elephant, and here are the baby animals. And Mama Elephant whispers, "You're safe with me." This is a great bedtime story, especially for children who might be afraid of thunderstorms and have trouble sleeping if there's a storm going on outside. The language in it is also beautifully poetic, and the repetition really appeals to children. I also really like that the book introduces children to some animals they may not have heard of before. So my boys didn't know what a loris or a pangolin were, so that was something for us to go away and look up after reading the book. And then of course there are the beautiful illustrations. I cannot repeat enough how absolutely stunning these are. So thank you very much, Chitra, for sending us this beautiful book to review. It's definitely going to be one that we read again and again. Next up is a book called The Dark, and it's by Lemony Snicket, illustrated by John Klassen. This book is about a little boy called Laszlo who is afraid of the dark. The dark lives in the same house as Laszlo. Sometimes it hides in a cupboard or behind a shower curtain, but most of the time it lives in the basement, and at night it comes and it spreads itself all over Laszlo's house. So Laszlo thinks he is safe from the dark in his bedroom because he's got his little nightlight. But then one night his biggest fear becomes true. The dark visits him in his room. So Laszlo is scared, but the dark says, "Come and follow me, I want to show you something." So Laszlo follows him through the dark house, downstairs, skip ahead a bit, into the basement. "Come closer," says the dark. And then he wants Laszlo to look in the bottom drawer of this chest of drawers. And I'm not going to tell you what is in that bottom drawer. You will have to buy the book and find out for yourself. But I can tell you that at the end of the book, Laszlo is no longer afraid of the dark. I really love the illustrations in this book and the muted colours, which are quite different from some of the bright, colourful picture books that we're used to. and it's a great bedtime story to read, especially with children who are afraid of the dark, and to show them that it's absolutely nothing to be afraid of whatsoever. Book number 3 is something very different. It is called Bed, 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 and it's based on songs by They Might Be Giants with illustrations by Marcel Zama. Now, my husband is the biggest They Might Be Giants fan you will ever come across. And when our eldest boy was born, he was given this book to read with him as a bedtime book when he was older. So the way it works, it's basically the lyrics to 4 songs, and they're called Impossible, Happy Doesn't Have to Have an Ending, Idlewild, and Bed, 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 Bed. And you can read the lyrics just like a story. They kind of follow on from each other, and the illustrations are really quirky and fun, just like you would expect from They Might Be Giants, if you're familiar with their songs and their work. And here's another one. My boy loves this one with the cute kittens and the hearts. And I'll show you one more. There is here. I just love the illustrations, they're really fun. But it comes with a CD at the end that you can take out and listen to and play. So if you're feeling really brave, you could learn how to sing the songs, and you could sing the book to your child at bedtime. Here's another little glimpse of one of the illustrations. But you can also just read it like a storybook. So if you're looking for something a little bit different and a little bit fun maybe for bedtime, then you should definitely check this one out. Next up is a book we borrowed from the library. It's called Molly and the Night Monster, and it's by Chris Wormel. This book has a sweet and simple storyline, but the reason I chose it that makes it a little bit different is the illustrations, because the entire book is illustrated in blue. Now, in the story, Molly wakes up in the middle of the night because she hears a sound on the stairs, and she imagines all kinds of wild animals that are coming to get her. So there's a crocodile and a bear, and if we skip ahead a little bit, there is a nighttime monster that she thinks is coming to gobble her up. So Molly throws her monster catcher to try and catch the mighty beast, but then it turns out that she hasn't caught a monster at all. She has caught a mummy. So this is another great book for children who are afraid of the dark and for addressing their fears and talking to them about it. And it's also quite a short book, so this one is great for younger children. Last but not least is a classic, but for a book roundup focused on illustrations, I just had to include it. It's Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. For those of you who don't know the book already, it features a little boy called Max who likes to dress up in a wolf suit, and Max gets up to a lot of trouble and mischief. So in the story, he has been sent to bed without any supper. And while he's in his bedroom, a forest starts to grow and grow and grow. And then an ocean appears, and Max gets onto a boat and he sails in and out of wakes to where the wild things are. So here he is in his boat, and here's a wild thing. And he goes and stays with the wild things, who roar their terrible roars and gnash their terrible teeth and roll their terrible eyes and show their terrible claws. But Max tames them with a magic trick, and they make him king of all the wild things, and they have a great time together until Max has had enough and he sends them to bed without any supper. And Max is feeling a little bit lonely, and he wants to be where someone loves him best of all. So he gives up being king of the wild things, and he sails all the way back, in and out of wakes, back home. And he gets back home, and there's his supper waiting for him, and it's still hot. This is a beautifully illustrated book with a fantastically imaginative story, and I have yet to meet a child who hasn't fallen in love with it. If you don't know this book already, you really should check it out. I promise you, you will love it. And that's it for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to find out about the books in more detail, I will pop a link to my blog in the notes below. If you have any recommendations for other great bedtime stories you think we should check out, or if you would like to suggest a topic for a future book roundup, then just leave a comment below and I will check those out. And I will see you next time. Night night!